Let's see if this is working, guys. Let me know in the chat box if you all can see me. For some reason, I cannot hear myself in my headphones, so I'm going to take them off, you know? I'm not sure exactly why. I can also hear any other sound. It's like when I plug in and plug out, I can hear a little beep or something, so I know they're not broken, but not sure what's happening to the microphone. So I guess no headset for me today, so the voice will be a little bit different. I swear, it's really different when you can hear yourself talk or you cannot hear it. It's a different vibe. But yeah, I have a little update for today. I mean, the price is doing pretty interestingly, but it's most importantly about everything that's surrounding that, right? So, yeah, I'm going to put up a starting soon sign just to quickly let a couple of people hop on in, I guess. No, I can stay here. But yeah, just let's wait a minute or two for a couple of people to hop on in. I'm going to also share the stream over on a couple of different places, over on Twitter and the Telegrams and Discord and stuff. And then we shall get started. Because today's a pretty weird day. I mean, I don't really keep making all these Luna updates, mostly because it's kind of garbage, you know, in the way in which they're doing things. I'm not really a big fan of it all. But you guys can understand with me as well here. It's most likely one of the most trendy things in the crypto space by far. And so if I don't update, I think I'm not doing people justice, you know, since everybody wants to know exactly what's going on with this stuff. So I don't know. I think I have to keep updating people on the matter. It's too interesting. For example, the fact that he's getting investigated over in Korea so much. Like, there's 3 separate investigations. You can't deny and say that's very interesting. Let's quickly see. Can you guys hear me? Check, check, check. It's a frozen screen, somebody says. Can any of you guys please confirm? Is it all good? Can you all see me? I'm seeing a couple people say yes, but one guy said frozen screen. I'm going to be answering questions in a little bit. Let me just quickly put this stuff over on Twitter and then give my thoughts on the matter. We'll first also do a little bit of the story, okay, guys? And then a little bit later, I'll talk more about what what you guys basically need to hear separately from you guys, if you get my drift. So we'll answer the questions and whatnot. But if there's questions about will wrapped Luna, honestly, it depends a little bit, but I'm honestly thinking no. If you, for example, have wrapped Luna, I think you'd have to change it over. Because it doesn't really make sense, right? It's off-chain. And even though it's theoretically speaking backed, I don't think they're going to count that. But there's something to be said about why it should count. Then again, I'm not so sure how they will measure that and how they'll know it was you that had the wrapped, you know? That I'm not sure of. That's why I'm saying no from the get-go, but it could be so. But most likely not. All right, I've shared it over on Twitter. Now just quickly Telegram. Joe Lying says this will definitely pump. It's just, it's just buying at the bottom. Honestly, guys, I do believe there's a pretty good opportunity in Luna still. Even though, again, I'm not the biggest fan of it, and I'm not necessarily going to say anybody that it's a good idea to buy. I am saying there's a pretty good chance to make a juicy chunk of money here on this crypto. And this is, I think, something we can all agree on. There's a good chance that we're going to flip it real quick and make a juicy amount of profit. I think it's something the majority of you guys will agree with. Okay. I've shared it everywhere. I think we can get started with the story for today. Captain Cringe Captain says it's dead. Monk says, why? How is it going to recover, bro? All right. Again, I'll tell you guys all the story. I'll tell you everything that I think. And at the end of the day, make your own decision. Is it a solid project as of this point? I would say it's not the best idea to get involved if you're not already in it. And for my own personal sake, I don't really have much Luna, so I don't honestly really care. If I'm going to be buying some more, I'll tell you guys about it. I don't have more than a couple $1,000s hanging on this. So for me, it makes no difference, right? If this one pumps to the moon or if it crashes, I'm indifferent to it all. I'll see what happens. Let me once more test the headset. No, it does not work for some reason. Very annoying. Very cumbersome. It is what it is. So, let's go on the story, right? Luna today, the Luna price has not been doing too well. It's basically fallen by another 30 or so percent, and I've been watching it fall. And it makes me think, why exactly is this happening? Then again, even the last 7 days just looks awful, because at that point it was still worth at least something, you know? It's really gone astronomically bad. The market cap value, though, is actually not doing too awful. It is still hanging just below $1 billion. And if you're wondering why that is, it's because even though the price has fallen astronomically low, the supply increased by such a significant bit that the market cap has now fallen to the depths of the depths just quite yet, you know? It's still in the top 200 crypto projects, which I think is rather interesting. So I've been reading a little bit, and people ask about the supply. So can it still reach $1 or so? Can it still happen? Well, once more, remember, the supply has increased by so many thousands of folds. It's going to be harder for all these new values to be hit. And it's a very simple calculation, right? $1 times 7 trillion. It's not going to happen. No way, shape, or form. The circulating supply of Luna has continuously gone up since the USD debacle began, and people are wondering, can it still hit $1? From my own perspective, absolutely not. If you're talking about years, theoretically speaking, yes, but there's not enough utility in Luna to actually justify a 1 cent price tag even. It doesn't make sense. The only way in which you could ever go to a cent again is if they get rid of so many freaking coins. The burn, right, that we all talked about. However, if you start checking through this, people are all saying burn, 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 burn. They should start burning the access immediately, with a set time frame ultimately back to 300 million, which is the initial supply basically. In the meantime, keep building on the ecosystem, no forks. Work hard to pay back investors and redeem trust instead of playing the victim role, which benefits nobody. And this, you might think, oh, that's the best option, right? The burn, burn, burn. That's what people want. Well, you can see below it, it's not necessarily what everybody wants. Hardik here says, it's not possible. Most of Luna is with retail investors and no one will sell or burn it, and Terra don't have the money to buy them back. And this is actually a very important point though. Again, guys, I put over on Twitter that I do have a solution. Me and a couple of really big spearheads in the crypto space have been talking for a couple of days now to think of a way to actually make Luna recover. And I'm not, again, talking about it for myself because at the end of the day, I don't really care. However, I do see the community and I do think this could actually help so ridiculously many people if we do manage to pull it off. And some people have the capacity to really put some money into it to actually really significantly make a dent. I'm thinking, well, let's think about this, right? So, what's the thing you were talking about on the phone that you tweeted to save Luna? I can't say just quite yet what the plan was or what the actual fundamentals of that are, but just know that it's being worked on and thought out. I'm not 100% sure it will pull through because there's so many variables that play a role in that, but just know it's being worked on and being thought out even more properly, right? And it's a really freaking good plan, and I don't say that loosely. There's a really good idea that could save Luna. However, you got to think about it. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and one small mistake can wreck your reputation forever. So we all concluded, if we do something along these lines, if we do manage to, or at least try to save Luna, it has to be perfect, because any one mistake, and it can be over for everybody's reputation, if you guys get my drift. So it has to be really, really juicy. Then again, oh man, how many people that could save? It's going to be huge. So I'm really hoping that will pull through. But keep this in mind, right? The fact that burning is kind of hard. We'll talk about this more throughout the live stream here, about the next couple of minutes. The Luna supply near 7 trillion. This is $1 still possible. If you think it's going to go to $1 at this point, please, guys, please reconsider your morals and everything like that. Please, all right? Please, please, please. It makes no sense for this to happen. Now, Watcher Guru, a very popular Twitter account, put this. Just in, Pantera Capital has confirmed that they sold 80% of their Luna investment, $170 million, before the crash. A lot of people are asking about this, like, hey, should I sell too? And Tayo Crypto said Pantera Capital was able to offload 80% of their Luna investment before the crash, turning their 1.7 million into 170 million. And during the crash, they managed to sell 2/3 of the remaining 20% at $25.6 average price. The rest was staked via Luna X and can't be sold, but they're very lucky. And again, a lot of people are quoting, they let them cash out because they knew what was coming. I sometimes worry and wonder about this too. Did some of the bigger guys know what was coming? Well, I mean, we talked before about the billionaire guy, right? I'm not sure what his name anymore is right now. Mike Novogratz. I guess he didn't get so lucky to sell out, and he lost, I think, $400 million in that process or something like that. Some crazy amount of money. Not sure exactly on the dollar amount that he lost. I think it's really, really high up there, though. I think 400 million or something along those lines. And he was really, really going for Luna. He had a tattoo of it. He was really crazy about it. Oh, His company lost $300 million this quarter. I'm not so sure exactly how much the loss was Luna then, but a lot. And I guess if all the insiders knew, then this guy would be very happy about the situation, right? And he's not. So I can't really confirm that it was a big Luna plan to let all these bigger investors out or so. Then again, it could be so, and this is something that I haven't really discussed properly, that even the bigger investors knew it was a freaking Ponzi scheme, a freaking stupid-ass system, and they were just looking for a quick return, though, to kind of sell on dumbasses. Then again, it gets a little bit more interesting. If you scroll through here, United Shiba is not the best name, but hey, all right? Burn Shiba can't, or Burn Luna can't happen. There's less than zero value to buy back in Burn Luna, basically 11.3 billion. Not sure. I think that's about the UST. The only possible option left is to create a new chain, as they have to do it anyway, because they have to delete codes, UST, because it didn't work by design. Let's hope. There's something to be said about this specific idea / sentiment. You can see the amount of likes that it's getting, and you can see people are thinking three things. One, burn Luna and it will recover. Two, the exit scammed all of us. Binance is in on it. The Luna guy's in on it. Get him to jail, whatever. It's not good. And three, fork and let's get a new life coin. Those three ideas have been circulating in the space the last couple of weeks here. So again, the third option here, space, he said, everyone that knew except common people, they just rug pulled, made us their exit liquidity, and I'm pretty sure even CZ knew before the collapse, but let them do this. So once more, you can see here the Burn Luna guy is saying it can't happen, we need to fork. You can see the space guy that says they rug pulled us. And you can see at the top here, basically, oh, there was the previous page that said we should burn. Those are the three main options. Which one do you guys think is best? All right, just quick poll here. What do you guys, let me make a poll actually. So let me make a poll real quick over on the live stream. What's your opinion? Let me make three options. Forking Luna is best. Luna needs to be burned. It's all one big rug pull. There we go. I've put up a poll in the chat box. Let's see real quick what you guys are thinking about the situation. So I put the question, what's your opinion? Forking Luna is the best, Luna needs to be burned, or it's all one big rug pull. Let's see what you guys in the chat box are thinking. And also, guys, while you're at it, you don't have to, but if you want to support these streams, if you want to support the channel, make sure you press that like button if you're enjoying the streams, obviously, or enjoying the videos for that matter. Let's see. So out of this chat box here, as of this point of the vote, 75% of the people say Luna needs to be burned. Okay, it's going down significantly. Let's give it a little minute. Let's give it a little minute while we go towards the next article, and we'll check back on the results in just a second. This article said the Terra Network will be reborn according to official voting. Yeah, so the reason I actually wanted to do this stream, just if you're asking me, was mostly because the fork is going through, by the way. Regardless of what you guys vote, just know that the fork is most likely coming in, and is most likely a decision that's going to be made. And that's because about 90% of the people are for it. And at first I was like, wow, why? But the more articles I started reading, the more I started noticing, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, wait, give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Just to quickly check this out. Make sure there's nothing. Yeah, okay, good. At first I thought, like, who wants this, right? Well, really, even in South Korea, crypto-loving South Koreans bet on Luna rising from the ashes, worrying regulator. There are so many people in different countries around the world, it doesn't really matter where, that are thinking, let's get this Luna back up and running. New chain, new ideas, new system. People are really excited for this. And Mayhem said when the voting started, it already had 11 million people that said yes. Incorrect, it's 11 million Luna allocated by the delegates, or let's say the validators or so, which have gotten a lot of it actually. Let's not talk about that story. I wanted to say a lot of it comes actually from Luna people, from the actual foundation, basically. A lot of that was given and delegated. So basically, it's more likely that those guys will vote in the TFL's favor for forking because that's their idea. And anyway, like if you're involved in a protocol like this, the chances are high that you're going to go with the idea of the founder, because why would you go astray from what he thinks is best, as you've believed in him anyway enough to become a validator, right? So if you guys get the drift, like it's kind of logical that they vote with him. And there's a lot of people who are waiting to vote to actually get something done. A lot of people also want to vote to just get something going, at least in a positive manner. So you might say, well, it's not 11 million people. It's 11 million Luna that was put up to the vote, which is not that much money at all. Squirrely says, wouldn't a fork eliminate the need of a burn? 6 trillion tokens, don't think a burn would do squat. So I'm not really sure exactly. Again, I don't want to roast people too much today. Not in that mood, but I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, my friend. So a fork would eliminate the need for a burn? Sure, depending on what comes of the old network, right? If they're forking, then the new network becomes the main thing. The old network kind of dies, which will mean UST dies completely, and Luna Classic will basically become worthless because all the projects migrate over. It's just the old version. It's like a Minecraft and a Minecraft 2.0. If there's two separate games, then who was going to play Minecraft now, right? If everything is in the 2.0 but only better, it's only people who really enjoy the old stuff. Then again, if there's nothing on it, if there's nobody playing it anymore, okay, that's a single player game, but you guys get my drift, right? Then people are all going to 2, then 1 is kind of useless, people don't need it anymore. So that would eliminate the need for a burn? Sure. However, the second part of your question, 6 trillion tokens, I don't think a burn would do squat. Okay, let's say there's 1 million tokens, right? It doesn't matter for anything. The burn is going to be the same thing. It's relative. You know, they want the burn because it used to have such a small supply, now it's big. Just because you have 6 trillion supply doesn't mean it's like more difficult to burn than if you had a 1 million supply. It's all a relative thing. And people don't understand this about tokenomics. I really wonder if people, you know, some people, sorry guys, I don't want to be rude here, but some people are really, really stupid when it comes to these tokenomics. 6 trillion supply or 1 million supply. It makes no difference. The only thing that changes is the value per coin. But the market cap works in the exact same manner. It is price per coin times the amount of coins. Does that mean a 1 million market cap, or sorry guys, a 1 million coin basically is more valuable? Well, per coin, yes, but relatively no. And people keep saying, oh, it has so many coins, it's impossible to burn. Absolutely not. Why would it be impossible to burn? Why would it be impossible to get a dent in this? If they get a sell and buy fee, for example, it can definitely make a big dent. All right, because instead of buying 1 Luna at a time, people are buying 10 million Luna at a time. So relatively, the burn will still be pretty significant. But they just need to go through with that and commit. Because the burn is a different thing than buy back and burn is different than sell and buy fee. So the sell and buy fee would basically be every single time you want to buy some Luna, you have to pay a 3% fee. Or every time you want to sell, you have to pay 3% or 5% or 10% fee, which happens to a lot of shit coins, mostly to burn, right? It's different than buy back and burn. With buy back and burn, it becomes a little bit more difficult because, well, you need a lot of money for that. And there's no real VCs that want to hop on over because it's a dying project. So I think they might want to fork to get more investors interested to maybe potentially go and do something with Luna Classic again or to recoup investments for people. But I don't think so. I think they're just trying to kind of forget and eliminate. All right, let's give it a second. Just give me 1 second to grab my water from the other side of the room. And then it's also raining pretty loudly. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. It's kind of funny. Yeah, but I'm, to kind of come back on the point, I'm honestly thinking that none of the options that they have are really good, you know? None of the things which they can do actually come out with the best conclusions. So I'm also not so sure what the best option would be. I think the burn would be best because even though it might not work, at least you're getting the community excited. But again, that's just my opinion, though. Trust with Dusty says, I brought Safe Moon. Transaction burn are meme coin 101. Yeah, the transaction burn is definitely a meme coin type of thing because then they can market with big burns. And it usually does get rid of a lot of volume. But in this case here, Luna has become a meme coin, right? I don't see Luna and meme coins as different things. They're like 1 and 1 to me. But hey. So once more, guys, if you're wondering, the voting will go through. I don't think they've reached the quorum just quite yet, but they're, I think, like 95% done or potentially already done on it. This was like the split up before, and I think it was actually at some points a lot more negative in the sense that it was like even more yes, like 90% yes, and then like even less percent no. It's changed up a little bit though, and right now it's like 80% says yes, about 20% says no with veto, and about 1% is actually saying nothing, which is kind of interesting. The vote has not yet reached quorum. required for the recognition of the voting process. As for validators, the majority is also in favor of Do Kwon's new plan. 33 validators said yes to the proposal, and only 5 of them voted against it. Previously, Terra community members created their own vote, in which 92% of users chose not to create a fork for the existing network, but since community voting represents the opinion of a smaller group of Terra ecosystem participants, the results are different. So basically meaning the validators want something else that the community wants, which is never really a good thing. That's like signs of a dying project, to be honest with you. Chris says, you gotta offer new Terra coins in exchange for old Lunas, i.e. 1 to 1,000. Well, if you're wondering exactly how the split works, by the way, I made a video on that. So, the only thing we do not know is exactly how many tokens the TFL had, right, at the pre-attack snapshot. However, I made a video here explaining exactly how many coins you'd get, depending on how much Luna you had before, how much Luna you have now, and how much UST you have now. And the setup was basically, if you had 10 Luna before, you're most likely going to get that new Luna on a 1-to-1 basis. But it's between 1 and 7, though. The reason I'm saying it like that is because it depends on how many Luna the TFL had. If the TFL came out to have had 290 million, which is in their wallet now, then it turns out that the ratio of old to new Luna is 1:7. So 1 old Luna is 7 new Luna. If it turns out they had no Luna before the snapshot, which is, impossible, but let's say it is, then it turns out you only get about 1-to-1. Meaning if you had 10 Luna before, you get 10 new Luna. If you have 1 million Luna now, that is equal to about 15 new Luna. So 1 million Luna now is equal to about 15 new Luna. If you have 10,000 UST now, which is about $1,000 or so, that's equal to about 220 Luna. So essentially, the best way to get yourself these newer Luna, I think, is through UST maybe, but that's because I might not understand exactly how much a million Luna is. I think this was like $300, this is $1,000. So in that sense, relatively, it's a lot better for yourself to actually get the new Luna with UST rather than Luna itself, or of course through the old Luna. And if you're wondering about all the other parts, just go ahead and go towards this video of mine. This will happen to Luna in the next 12 hours. That was about the voting process starting. How many Luna 2.0 tokens will you have after fork? Just check out the video if you're excited, interested, or whatever about how it's all going to work. All right? Let's move on. We have a couple other pieces. Korea Jongang Daily. Debriefing. Luna, Kwon, and all things Terraform. You know how many articles I've read right now of the Luna founder getting indicted or stuff like that? Or the fact that he's going to go to jail and things like that? I'm laughing at it, but it's kind of strange. It's kind of scary. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what to tell you. It is what it is. People are asking exactly what's happening. Why did this all come to fruition? Why did it work this way? It's hard to pinpoint all these things together. A lot of law firms are really, really not happy with him, saying it's a Ponzi scheme. It was designed like that from the start. It's a big rug pull, like you see in the vote right now. 10% said forking Luna is best, 60% said it needs to be burned, and 28% said it's all one big rug pull. Right? The majority of people really think this guy was scamming the freaking living hell out of us. And having said that, yeah, it's not strange he's going to get all these lawsuits against him and all these police complaints and filings or so. Take a look at this freaking article. Will Terra co-founder or founder be held accountable following 3 South Korean investigations? They're going freaking FBI mode on this guy. Understandably so, though. It's a multi-billion-dollar scam potentially. And I mean, he's still got tens of millions, even not hundreds of millions of dollars for his own. People are now trying to gum at him with tax evasion and everything. You know, it's going deep. Terra founder Do Kwon is falling deep into investigations. So a question arises, will Terra co-founder be held accountable following the 3 investigations? So yeah, they've summoned him to come up and answer some questions at least. Apparently, over 200,000 South Korean investors actually fell victim to this scam. Which again, I don't necessarily call a scam, but the price of Luna falling, at least. Let's see here. Now, it appears another Pandora's box is about to blow up against Do Kwon. Recent reports indicate that the Terra founder is currently being investigated for tax evasion. Apparently, Do Kwon and Terra are in for a rough ride involving them and the National Tax Service of South Korea. Then again, I've also seen a couple of others say that Terraform Labs has been liquidated. So basically, they've how do you say it? Like they've got rid of the company already. I could not back that up though. I think it was like Whale Alert or something like that, or Whale whatever. Watcher Guru. or something like that posting it, but I couldn't actually back it up. So I'm not sure if I should say that that's the truth. But it's definitely been interesting to watch. I'm just checking on my phone what the news is. You guys already know, right? Whenever I'm streaming, I usually always am a little bit on the phone just to see if there's anything, not like calling, of course, that's strange, but on my phone, just checking if there's any new news that I want to quickly cover for you guys, or that can fit into the story as well. Anybody send me anything? No, but nothing is relevant. No. I'm just kind of scrolling through my mentions over on Twitter, seeing if anybody sent me some article or something like that. But no, nothing too special as of this point. All right. Apparently, he used to pay $80 million in taxes. The tax evasion allegations leveled against Do Kwon and Terra Labs amount to a whopping $80 million to be paid to the tax authorities. Interestingly, Do Kwon has already dissolved Terraform Labs, here we go, from existence in South Korea and moved its operations to Singapore. Some people have speculated that he probably knew what would happen to the Terra ecosystem because he did this right before the market crash. Right? See, this makes the guy so suspicious. The fact that he dissolved the company just before the big crash makes it very suspicious. Then again, he could have also been upgrading to Singapore for tax purposes. He's like, yeah, you know what? I want to move on and get this even bigger. And then the moment he started to go bigger on it, it crashed. It's possible, but it's really freaking sus. How many of you guys are still holding Luna in the chat box? Just say yes or no real quick. B. Simpson says, I bought UST at 10 cents yesterday like a dumbass. My friend, I've still been holding UST since it was $1, so I guess I'm the biggest dumbass here, my friend. Don't worry about it. You're not that stupid yet, my guy. You're not that stupid. Wow. Thomas is not. The majority of people are. Again, as long as you guys see it as being a pretty stupid thing to do this, then it's fine. If you're thinking that this is going to surely make you money, you're on the wrong path, my friend, all right? You got to realize this whole Luna debacle, it will most likely go wrong, and the Luna 2.0 can have a pump and dump situation, but it will most likely go wrong, all right? Just know, it can work. It can pump. Just make sure that you understand. It will most likely go wrong, all right? I'm just having to point that out really clearly. Luna is basically at a point where it can't be saved. It's possible. I really believe it. But Do Kwon is not taking the right steps, or he's doing so without telling us, without enlightening us, which is sketch. And everything that went on before, like this, for example, moving the company just before the crash, it's sketchy, which makes people really wonder if he's ingenuous. How do you say it, guys? If he's basically honest with us or not. And so, as long as you understand that you're taking big risks and just doing a little bit of a toss in the dice, you're good to go. If you're thinking this is a proper investment, you're going to pass on to the youths one day. Yeah, a disingenuous. Just what a freaking difficult word, man. Again, guys, not a native English speaker. Where are you guys watching from right now? Again, I actually speak Dutch as my first language, so from the Netherlands, if you guys did not know that. English is my second language, I guess. Sheep defied logic. There's the truth, though. You know, so the reason I have Luna is honestly because of the Shiba Inu factor, where I thought I bought Shiba Inu very cheaply, but I only bought really little amounts of it, guys. It made me tens of thousands of dollars. I told you guys about the whole story. But I didn't believe in it, honestly. It wasn't like I'm thinking, oh, this is going to pop off. I was buying Safe Moon. I was buying all those garbage coins to kind of see what would happen. And Shiba Inu did really pop off. Shiba Inu bigger than Luna now? Yeah, that's funny, though, right? It is kind of funny. It has real utility. Let's not talk about that one. Let's see more people say in the chat box where they're watching from. We have Canada. We have Malaysia in the chat. Holland as well. Maryland. Maryland. I like that. Maryland. We got Joe Lang from the UK. Yen Yang. Is it Yen or Jen? I think Yen. From Oklahoma. Remus is just like me. Greetings from Manchester. What's up, man? We got Switzerland in the chat. We got UK, Singapore, Rotterdam, Australia, Philippines, Australia, mate. All right, mate. Satoshi Stack. Hey, you. Oh, nice, my friend. You watching from your little shack? Nice. Nice, my friend. Why are you stalking my channel, bro? Again, for you guys that do not know, Satoshi Stack are also a very big crypto YouTuber. Why are you stalking me a little bit, man? All right. So this is, to me, really interesting, though, the fact that it gets even more sketch. The fact that he dissolved his company just before moving everything to Singapore, just before the crash. I mean, that's so sketch. Some people have even speculated they probably knew what would happen to Terra ecosystem because he did this right before the market crash. Reports also indicate that Do Kwon owns 92% of Terra Labs, meaning he's the one to pay up. This may be one of the reasons that lawmakers now want Do Kwon to appear before them and explain how Terra Luna and UST tanked and led to the loss of billions of dollars. For one, the 84,000 Bitcoin that was meant to support Luna and UST price was depleted, yet the cryptos continue to crash. Again, how can you even imagine 84,000 Bitcoin at your disposal and things still mess up? What? You're doing something very wrong there, right? Can you guys think with me on that one? How could you have 84,000 Bitcoin and not save a freaking dying crypto? You have $3 billion to save $10 billion. It's not working. Yeah, there must be something very wrong right there. It makes you think as well about what exactly he has done with the money. Again, we've also seen his little investment track record. We've seen how many millions and millions he invested into all these newer companies. And so this man is not a poor man right now. You know, he's not struggling or anything like that. This man most likely still has tens, potentially hundreds of millions of dollars to his name. But yeah, they want his ass, all right? They want his little buttermilk, his little butt milk, his butt cheese. Crime investigation unit revived. Following the terror incident, the South Korean government has revived a criminal investigations unit that was previously disbanded 2 years ago. The department, consisting of around 40 people, will be tasked with digging up information to find out what exactly happened to the Terra crypto ecosystem and whether Do Kwon is responsible for the losses incurred by hundreds of thousands of people across the world. And if you're wondering what would happen if he is indicted, if he is jailed, most likely some new laws will go into effect to potentially recoup our money through his money. But most of the time, we're just kind of screwed and done for because it's crypto. So he will just move his money around and we will basically get nothing. Because it's crypto, right? It's going to be hard to seize that. So that's for his crypto part. The money that he has in all these different small investments, that potentially might still be salvageable. Because again, he's got a lot of money invested into all these newer companies. And people are actually linking all these newer companies together and saying, well, it's all a big scam because look at this. He invested in a lot of companies that are in the same sort of niche that are all basically invested into this and that. They all did this as one big scheme. Yeah. Let's see. Mike Novogratz, we talked about this before, I think. The big idea that failed, crypto billionaire breaks silence on Luna's meltdown. Every single theory I have, though, that kind of doesn't make sense based upon the fact that this guy lost money in this as well. If he also said it was going to be fine, he made money or so, then I would have gone off my chair, smashed my chair against a freaking window, and go cry out loud. But the fact that he did not lose all the money, did not cash out all his money, and actually made a significant loss, that makes this a lot more like, okay. Maybe it's not as easy as we thought it was. Maybe it is a layer deeper than I expected. You know, and you guys kept saying, please, whenever you drink some water, please do not keep your microphone on because we hate it. You don't like ASMR. Hopefully you guys did not see that. Finally, truth, no money coming. Yeah, I mean, it could be that the money would come. I mean, it's 50-50. And then said he probably called Gary Gensler for advice. That's kind of funny. Yeah, I wonder as well how it's going to go in the US, if the SEC is going to go after him. Because right now it's looking as if only South Korea is doing some active research. And G7 was meeting up today and tomorrow, and yesterday actually, to discuss crypto regulation and whatnot. But I wonder if they're actually going to try to do something about it. Or if it's only going to be South Korea and potentially a little bit of Singapore or something like that. And remember, guys, if you're wondering about the revival plan, the majority of the Luna validators support the idea. There's a very high chance it's most likely going to pull through and that Luna 2.0 will come. If you're wondering how many tokens you'll get, I've done the calculations for you. The only number I'm still waiting for people to tell me about is how many Luna the Terraform Labs held at that point, which again is basically Do Kwon. If it did hold 290 million Luna, they were in for a little bit of a predicament, because that means he had a freaking ton of money at that point, and he might be liable for way more, right? But we'll have to see pretty shortly about that. It's hard to predict. Geometric Arts says, so I get like 60 coins. Once more, the calculations are very simple, right? Just go to my video that I made about 2 days ago. This will happen to Luna in the next 12 hours. How many Luna 2.0 tokens you will get after fork, something like that. And you can calculate everything for yourself here. If you had 10 Luna before, you basically have it on a 1-to-1 ratio. If you had 1 million Luna now, it's about 1 million equals 15 Luna. And if you have 10,000 UST now, it will equal about 221 Luna. And you can put the calculation like that. The only number which is kind of indifferent, or at least that I'm not sure about, is this number right here. It could be 10 Luna equals 10 Luna new, 10 old equals 10 Luna new. But it could also be so that 10 equals 70. It depends on how many Luna the Terraform Labs had. All right, guys? That part I do not know. And at the end of the day, one thing I should quickly shout out is that I'm still buying mostly altcoins. I've seen a lot of articles that say altcoins might die completely if Bitcoin crashes, if some stable coins are going to get some crashes going. At the end of the day, I'm not really too worried. I just keep buying my way down. A lot of people said, oh, $3,000 is going to be the bottom for Bitcoin or so. If it does end up being the bottom, you know how cheap altcoins will be? And I know it's going to be a pretty long journey. I'm going to have to buy a lot of it. But the moment we get there, guys, I'm going to be so freaking excited. Might take out a crazy loan and get myself just in crazy debt to actually buy just as much as I possibly can. Because I've been in crypto for such a long while. And my faith in crypto is like 100%. In my belief, there's no way this system can go wrong again. But I'm also a little bit biased because I understand it really deeply. And I know these countries are working towards it. But there we go. Whew. I also understand that anything is not as safe as you would like it to be, So I understand that it can still go wrong in some way, shape, or form. And it says the elites know the entire game plan. That is, again, that's up for question. I'm not sure if they all really do. It's a 50-50. Sunblast said the burn vote failed. There was no burn vote, right? You mean the community burn vote or the actual proposal? The vote itself on the Agora, he said the fork is manipulated. Terra website seems very confident the fork will happen, as it already says Terra 2.0 is happening. I will never buy 2.0. So the thing is, you get 2.0 for free, so you never really have to buy it. It's only if you believe in the Terra ecosystem to then continue to buy it. But people will get it for free. Speak slowly. Huh. How's the speed, actually, guys? Should I speak slower, or is it good? Maybe I should. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the general consensus is in the chat box about my speech. Regarding that, the burn vote, yeah, I don't think it failed. I don't think it ever really came to fruition. I don't believe so. The revival plan, though, yeah, it's validators voting, and the majority of them are really happy about it. And the reason he can be so confident is because of the actual numbers. The actual numbers showcase there's almost a 95% chance, if not more, that this is going to pull through. Let me see where it is. Where was the voting results? Here we go. So it was like 80% yes, and we already basically reached quorum, so it was basically going to be yes. I'm not sure the vote is over, but you can basically count on the fact that it's going to pass, right? There's almost no way in which it cannot pass anymore. Whoa. I see now, earn 60% return on USDD. Man, Tron's Justin Sun is pushing his algorithmic stablecoin to the death, huh? I really don't want to buy it. But, whoa, some big thunder. Ho, ho, ho. Wealthy Fi Brand says, legal team from Terra is leaving. Saw it on Twitter earlier. Of course, I posted that. They already left a long time ago, guys. The Terra legal team left, and they're outsourcing their legal stuff right now. Yeah. What is your opinion on Songbird crypto? It's like Kusama for Polkadot. You know, it's a Canary network. It's basically a test for everything. I'm not sure why you would buy really Songbird too much. But the same thing for Kusama, I'm not really sure why you'd buy it. In the same sense that you're not going to buy a gas token like VTHO unless you're making quick gains with it. You're not buying Songbird for utility, in my opinion. It's just for testing shit. So I'd basically buy Flare if I had to make a choice. But I think Flare has been so dumb because it takes so long that the whole correlation between the old and new Flare is so bad. Because I hold at least 70 times more XRP now than I did back 2 years ago when the snapshot was. At least 1.5 years ago or so. I hold so much more XRP. At that time, I was more of a Bitcoin guy still. Even though I was making a lot of videos on XRP. The ROI potential was not as great for me in terms of risk reward than Bitcoin was. But now XRP is really my baby, you know? And we're trying some crazy coins, like for example, Luna right now, we're trying a little bit. And I have a lot of other, I have a couple of other coins that I'm going to share on the channel soon that I think might be a crazy, juicy gainer potential, even in the bear market or so. I'll share those. But yeah, I think they should do like a new little snapshot of sorts or so, because I'm kind of screwed. Buy Songbird because it's linked to XRP. Why would I buy Songbird if I can also just buy XRP then? Let's see here. Okay, this is MicroStrategy talk. Ray the Mus after the great crash of 2024, it will be the mega bull run of 2025, correct? Because MicroStrategy has to pay back $500 million for investing in Bitcoin, so it has to have a new all-time high 2024, the December. Well, the new Bitcoin halving is going to be somewhere in 2024. So there's a very good chance that around that time, a little bit afterwards, the prices are going to pump like crazy, because that's usually how these cycles work thus far. Why is Luna still going down? Logically, there's not really many people who are trying to buy Luna. It can pump, but that will be if the proposal is officially accepted and Luna 2.0 is coming. Then most likely people will start buying UST and Luna a little bit for the new system, basically. But until that's the case, Kevin says, shout out me, newly subscribed. What's up, Kevin? What's up, Kevin? Make sure you guys press that like button if you're enjoying these live streams, guys. We're almost at 100 likes. I'm almost at 300 people watching as well, which is pretty cool. How many people in the chat box are holding XRP right now? Insuna says, do you believe Luna Classic is going up anytime soon? So the thing what people don't understand as well is Luna Classic is the Luna that you know right now. Luna is going to be the new Luna 2.0 basically. So if you're talking about going up, then you're talking in terms of the old Luna price. Well, it depends. If Luna, is actually going to become Luna Classic, then yeah, there's a good chance it's going to pump first because people will buy into that to get the next coin. Because people will speculate on that. Then again, the fact that the majority of the community is so against it, it will be mostly institutions trying this stuff. How much do you think Terra 2.0 will be? Wow, I have no clue at all, guys. I personally wouldn't say there's actually any value to it, right? Because what is the actual value on Luna 2.0? Why would people actually interact? Why would people be excited for it? I don't know. I really don't understand that part. I really don't get why people would go for Luna 2.0 or why it would have any sort of value whatsoever. Yet it's going through. It is, guys. It is. Accept it. It is going through. And that makes me so, not necessarily worried, but so confused as to why, how. So many things in this sense are just kind of confusing. Unless you're a good trader, day trader, 99% aren't. You should have switched to cash 2 months ago. That's nice to say in hindsight. Chris Paul says, what about people holding Luna before the crash, lost money during, and went back in with a smaller investment later? What do you mean number of tokens before? All right, I'll tell you. Very easy to explain. Again, if you're wondering exactly how many tokens you'll get, you're better off watching the freaking video because then you'd know exactly. Now I'm giving an easy explanation. At that point, I made a more elaborate explanation about how exactly it works. Just a quick answer. T-Sean says, do you got some XDC? Yes, my friend. I have a good chunk of that. Regarding the before, please read, all right? Please read for yourself exactly how these things work. If you don't want to, listen to my explanation to the fullest. And if you're in the stream wondering, just after the stream, go to that video, listen to it exactly, then you know everything. The before is the 7th of May. The after or now is the 27th of May. And Freedom TV, I've seen you do this a couple of times. Did you know bottom is with T's, not with a D? Bottom. Just letting you know, my friend. Little tip. Chris says, Dusty, that equation is incomplete. Please let me know why. Please. By no means. By all means, I mean. It could be, by the way. So again, I'm not saying this is perfect. Like I said in the video, this is what I came up with in like 10 minutes. It could be very much wrong. Maybe people in the comment section pointed it out even. I said, if you have any suggestions, please comment it down. Let's see. Yeah, most likely it will just be freaking scam comments. By the way, if you see me commenting like a number or anything like that, it's not me. Some people are not, I guess, keen enough on the internet to understand that it's not actually me telling you to go text a number or anything like that. So this is also one thing I don't understand. Why people think I bought a fat bag of Luna. I actually didn't at all. I bought some Luna at the big of the bottom, and I sold it later on. I have like $2,000 maybe, right? Maybe it's $3,000, maybe it's 1.5, riding on Luna. I didn't buy a fed bag. I don't really care too much for it. It's honestly just really, really interesting to me in the crypto space. Luna's going to do the same as Shiba and stay low. Shiba's pretty high up there. I'm also not sure exactly how that's coming up. No, nobody's explaining the wrong calculations. Try Gamer says, I don't understand why they can't do both burn and then fork. Both burn first and then fork. Why does it have to be one or the other? So how do I explain this to you, my friend? Think about it logically. It doesn't make sense to do both. It doesn't make sense in any way, shape, or form. Both of these are already really extreme measures that have a small chance of succeeding in any way, shape, or form. If you combine them together, you are basically expecting a miracle to happen. By burning, you're putting all your resources, all your effort into making the current system work through all its flaws. By forking, you're basically giving up on the current network and everything inside of it. If you're doing both, you're basically saying, let's not give up on anything, but let's give up on everything and let's combine that. Makes absolutely no sense. That can only go for one or the other, and they've chosen the, let's give up on everything we've currently built and let's kind of rebuild it with a new hope of new investors and new blah, blah, blah. Let's just forget about everything we've done in the past. And the burning thing would be, let's keep close to everything we've done in the past and let's try to fix the system and make it work. So yeah, obviously it doesn't make sense for it to both come at the same time. Holders are going up. Top 1,000 of those holders have 20 million plus W Luna. I kind of wonder about the W Luna situation because I'm thinking, well, it's interchangeable for Luna, on a 1-to-1 basis. But I do wonder how they put that up into the calculations. But I guess exchanges will come up with those a little bit later, with the information about that. And I think as the vote gets accepted, we shall also hear about what exactly falls under the solution. Try Gaming says, but what's the point in keeping a Luna Classic? There's almost no point. It's just for let's keep Luna Classic, It's like, oh, okay, we'll call it Luna Classic, but it's basically forgotten. It's basically dirt at that point. Kevin says, does burning Luna make everyone rich? Well, think about it. Think about it for yourself. What happens if you get rid of more tokens? Period. Anyone longing anything right now? Good luck. Kurt Cobain says, just a cop-out, right? It's hard to say, my friends. It's hard to say exactly what the thought process is or exactly what they're doing. It's hard to say. I can think of scenarios as to why all of these make sense, but in reality, it's you know. Try Gaming says what annoyed me was they voted to burn UST and they just rejected it even though it passed. I didn't see that actually. I didn't see the proposal, so I'm not sure on that part. Craig says I'm guessing for legal issues, Luna has to keep its history. Well, also that partially, and also, I mean, well, how could they get rid of it, right? What would they have to do to get rid of it completely? You can't completely shut it down. I mean, the validators are moving over, sure. So, it's staying though. I mean, the blockchain, it's set in stone. It cannot all of a sudden be deleted anymore. If you guys get my drift. It will slowly die out though, I think, Luna Classic. There's almost no sense for it to be alive. Try says, why even have a voting system if they're going to do whatever they want? It passed with almost 92%. Well, the voting is for the validators, right? So I'm not sure exactly what we're talking about here. Or we're talking about the fact that another vote already came into place. I just don't honestly know. Like, if there was really a vote and the validators said yes, but the conclusion was no, it makes no sense because it's the validators that make up the decision. So maybe what you're talking about is that the community voted on the burn and the majority said yes, but the validators didn't implement it, or there was no official vote on the matter. But it could be. Sora says it still needs 60% of voters from validated, but 80% of the current votes are yes. Yeah, it'll go. This one will go through. The burn thing, no. Dirty Techie says the validators are still in bed with Do Kwon, though, since he is one of the controls the funding. They basically delegate. So Do Kwon's the LFG delegate a lot of Luna to the validators. And at the end of the day, they act out of the interest of Do Kwon, mostly because he's daddy, No, mostly because they believe in him and his ideas, or they believe that he has the highest likelihood to make them money. If you're not following his ideals, you're following your own, but then you're basically going to go against the system. So there's even a bigger chance there's going to be a fork where you're not included, for example, or you're not going to be delegated money anymore or whatnot. It's like there's almost no benefit in going against Do Kwon, the leader. Damp says a fork is only done to get the holders to hold and be greedy for airdrops. Nobody at Luna Labs cares about Luna Classic holders, but they can't afford another 99% drop because of transition of value. The way I'm thinking it, I think the new Luna is also going to drop about 99%, as everybody will try to actually recoup some of their old investment and sell it. Some people will be stupid enough to hold on for further times, but I think Luna, in the way in which they're going to fork it now, is just dead. It's like a dead fish in the water. It's like you can try to save it by giving it a little splash of water, but it will ultimately die if it cannot swim or do anything anymore. So, yeah, the reason they can't delete it is for so many different reasons. But again, let's come back to what you said. The fork is only done to get holders to hold Luna and be greedy for their airdrops. So you're saying, okay, I see that makes sense. That makes sense. He's basically saying the reason they're going for a fork is so a lot of people don't sell even more Luna right now and they get completely distraught. The only counter argument to that is that if they went for a burn, people could also be thinking about not selling because things might get better. So it's actually any initiative would have made them hold on. But I do feel for what you're saying. I think that is indeed maybe one of the reasons they wanted to go for something as quick as possible. Dam says you can't sell for at least 1 year. Will's not for 4 years. Incorrect. Incorrect to the fullest even. It depends. If you have that's Damp, check it out. All right, I'll tell you. If you had the old Luna, it is basically locked up for 1 year. And after that, you're going to get, over the next 2 years, you're going to get your money. So maybe the first month already, you're going to get, let's say 3%. I'm not sure exactly. It's spread over 24 months, basically, right? But you're going to get it maybe every day, maybe every week, maybe every month, maybe every quarter. But that we do not know how the vesting schedule exactly looks like. This 10% and this 25% and this 1% and a 25%, that's officially all actually open from the start. Community poll, theoretically speaking, right? Think about this. It's controlled by state governance. Validators, by definition, control 25% of the supply from the get-go. In theory, if all the validators bundle together, they can actually fund themselves or fund initiatives started by themselves. For example, they can cash themselves out money, which is why this is a really good idea, because that's 1/4 of the entire network, whereas right now they don't have any value. And the second part as to why the analogy or the idea of this 1-year lock is wrong is because out of the 10%, 1% is 1% of the total supply is open due to this 10% of 10% being open from the start. And then over the next 1 or 2 years, there's vesting, I think 2 years. And then for the 25%, also 10% is unlocked to Genesis. And this is the majority of the people, though. Not that many people are caring about the old Luna too much. It's mostly people caring about the new Luna that will actually sell rather quickly. If people held Luna at the time, I don't think those are going to be the biggest of sellers. It's the newer Luna people. And so the price can still dump like crazy. And again, you remember, if the price drops at the start, there's a very high probability that after that, well, the more Luna is going to come into the system, the more people will just sell, and the price will never really come up. Because what's going to make it go up? Well, utility. But there's no real utility if the price kind of drops from the get-go and nobody believes in the idea and no innovators are going to come on there. As all these other chains are giving out crazy, crazy money to get them over. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't believe in Luna anymore as much. So, yeah. We'll see, though, how it comes along, right? We have a couple more days until everything kind of comes to fruition. Luna will dump and go up as Luna isn't a bad coin. It was one of the best. It just needs to build up faith again. I don't agree with that whatsoever either. I don't think it's actually one of the best. I think it's actually really dumb. But that's afterwards, right? Terra, as a layer 0, I should say, is not completely stupid. But the whole Luna ecosystem was built around UST. So it's really not good. So the new Luna will not be built around UST, so it can be good. But, you know, the entire purpose is gone for me. So I'm like, well, if yield farming was the whole idea behind the Luna protocol, for me at least, or basically anything that happened with Luna, with Terra. If that's not the main purpose anymore, then why would I go for Luna? What's the main purpose over Luna over others? I don't know. I'm not so sure what exact tech about Luna is so amazing. Dirty Tech says, I think the community will fall out. Many devs and projects will flock to other projects. Luna is a sinking ship. Who wants to hang on to that when you can be offered a lifeline? I think so too. Damp says, let me show that. It was blocked. Damp said, you know what, Damp? I'm going to give you a... Man. It's a little bit too laggy. I want to give you moderator. Because I know you've been around for so long. I trust you with that. The moment I try to give you moderator, it becomes difficult, huh? Okay. Add moderator. There we go. Hopefully it works. All right. He says decoupling from UST made it become a shitcoin with no use case. That's what I kind of think too. Like, what's the purpose behind Luna now? Why would anybody go for it now? What's the idea? Not sure. Kevin says compared to ETH and Bitcoin, past fork is the Luna most worst. Any fork is different, man. Any fork is different. A hard fork is basically just an upgrade, and there can be an entirely new chain, or they can actually be a hard fork and just basically remain along the same path. It depends on if there's a split. It depends on whether or not they just want to upgrade something. You know, Cardano has hard forks all the time, but it's completely different to what we're seeing right here. These guys want to go for an entirely new system, and that's a really strange, difficult, scary type of fork. It could have also just been an upgrade normally, right? And any of you guys quoting news about Luna or so, we've most likely covered it. I see you guys saying, oh, Do Kwon has to pay taxes. We talked about it. Pantera has sold the Luna. We talked about it. All in this live stream. Every news about Luna we've covered here today. At least the stuff that's come out, since we've live streamed, maybe not, but anything before that I've covered today. Crypto Stoffel's back in the chat. What's up, man? Chris says, you got to look at the real cases. They are multi-layer. I had 100 Luna at $75, then sold all at $30 during the event and got back in at a very low price. Nobody held all the coins through. I think a lot of people held all the coins through because a lot of people had faith. Even I partially had. I was thinking like, it will come back up. It will fix itself, right? I didn't expect them to really go down this sad, scary ride. Damn says, thanks. Now I'm gonna watch here, so behave. Be careful. We have moderators in the chat now. Yeah, that's also a fun thing about moderators on YouTube chat. You know, it's like what time you go live depends on what type of people you get in the chat. I think it's also funny with you guys watching. ConfuTuber, I've seen you many times here as well. Then again, it depends on what time of the day I live stream at, I think, no? I'm not sure about that. But a lot of you guys, like some of you are like core that are always here regardless of what live stream I do. But a lot of you guys are like, if I stream early in the morning or early in the day, a lot of you guys are here that I recognize for early day people. And a lot of people are like late night people, whatever. I understand it's different, parts of the world, but that's kind of funny to me. How the more I start to stream, the more I start to notice a lot of people who come over at certain specific times. Crossroad says, "Oh, I've been around for a longer time. You only had like 10,000 subs and would never show your face. I was sub to a ghost." Hello? Okay, fair enough. Cool. EB says, "Luna is dead, you noobs." Yeah, maybe, my friend. I mean, we can still talk about it, though, even though it's dead, no? I mean, it's very interesting, I think. Even though it's dead, I mean, Shiba Inu is pretty garbage, but I still talk about it. James says, "What's this group to you?" Not so sure what you're talking about. Which group? Stoffel says, "Right now it's 8:26 a.m. South Florida." All right, fair enough. So I guess in California it must be like 6:30 a.m. then? Donald Dump, nice name, says, "What if Do Kwon disappears in this planet? Then we're kind of screwed." And as I said before, the only reason I give Do Kwon some credits is because he didn't fully just leave, He could have actually just put everything on block and just be like, you know what? I'm gone with the hundreds of millions of dollars I have. Screw you guys. He would have been definitely pursued heavier. And right now he can maybe go through it the legal way, like a loophole where he's going to get off with some easy stuff. But it could have definitely happened. It would have been way worse for the price. So there's still some salvageability left. He can still make Luna to something not completely garbage. However, I just don't think the new network was the best idea. And the people agree with me here on this one. The burn was most likely the best idea. Just to support the people, Even though for the actual Luna thing it's not the best, just to support the people, go for some sort of burning mechanism. Just something to start off with. EB, no Dusty, Kwon terminate. EB, we covered this before. I have the article open. I know, man. If you're talking about any of this stuff, we talked about this. At the end of the day, we can make all these speculations. Even though Do Kwon closed his companies a couple of, maybe a couple months, maybe a couple weeks. I don't know exactly when, because they said just before. Not sure what the exact date is that he liquidated his company. In South Korea, that is, in a move to Singapore. Even though that might be the case, we don't know still if that was all planned or not. I can be the conspiracy guy and say, this must showcase that. Let's be honest here. It could be a coincidence. A lot of these things could be a coincidence of wishful thinking from Do Kwon's part and things just not planning out. It could be that his 80,000 bitcoins were just purely used to fund his own little lifestyle, and in the end of the day, he's like giving us these BS stories about how he's trying to buy things back, and that he's all just doing this to become a billionaire and then get off with some stupid story. It could be. It could be the whole Luna debacle was all a Ponzi scheme from the start. It could be that the elites actually were all bundled together to make USDC come up on top and make UST fail. It could be that Do Kwon actually was in the process to make UST a pump and dump for bigger people, for the bigger guys to make a lot of money on crashing the Bitcoin price and shorting that, yada. It could also be, however, that this guy was just wishfully thinking he had a crazy good idea, it worked out properly. He was going for a massive expansion strategy, and some people took him down with some smite. But it could also be that he was really wishful thinking and nobody really took him down. It just started to collapse like some systems do. So, it's also not tinfoil hats, because there are a lot of easy to spot coincidences that make it so that we're like, oh, that was really kind of shady, Mr. Do Kwon. But which one of the things it is, that I do not know. Eric says Do Kwon was just dumping on retail to collect more BTC and XRP. Maybe. Have you talked about his tiny wiener yet? I think so. I think we did discuss that before, right? We were discussing actual girth and length in depth. So yes, we have. Don't liquidate the poor. Okay, I think we can close this poll, by the way. About 65% of the 500 votes have voted for Luna to be burned. We have 500 votes-ish, and the majority of people said Luna should have been burned. Instead of forking, only 10% said that. Then 25% said it's one big rug pull. Point being, nobody wants this freaking Luna fork. We know it for sure. Everybody knows it. The reason they did it most likely is beyond us, and that makes things way more suspicious than they needed to be. But it makes people also just so much less excited for this. I really think he could have saved it if he had just gone the community first approach. Explain exactly what happened to the Bitcoin and make it really obvious and really open. Not be so shady with a new plan that nobody likes. Not be so shady with denying this newer idea of the burn and so. It's just shady. Tristan, what's up, man? I missed you already, man. You were not here from the start. Normally you're too early. Now you're late. You're late to the party, my friend. How could that be? Tristan Holder is never late. At least most of the time you're not. Wick589 says, still find it suspicious U.S. politicians pushing a narrative of stablecoin bad and then UST fails. More coincidentally is that UST started failing the 7th, 8th, 9th-ish, and then the 10th and 12th, there's really important discussions in the U.S. government about stablecoins and CBDCs. That's more coincidental to me, indeed. It's very strange. Very coincidental, which makes these conspiracies way more juicy. Ernest says, I think bots are voting yes, no? It's not bots, it's validators. So these are companies, basically, who have their best interest on Luna's survival, but they're also a little bit biased to be more on Do Kwon's side. So it's not. I don't think it's fake. It's just the people that are voting are not community, but it's biased people, or at least people that matter relatively more than we do, the holders. These are people that actually contribute. Hank says, need to walk the Doge. Some big thunderstorms are coming later. Man, Hank, I think because of Scholten, I think you're in the Netherlands. Man, I've seen on the, what did it say? I think somebody showed it to me, that Netherlands is going to have some crazy thunderstorms or something like that soon. Maybe Belgium too? We'll have to see, and I guess in the short term here, I'll look outside in a little bit. But hopefully you guys are good in the Netherlands, man. Crazy storm. Don't go outside too much. Don't get yourself locked up in a thunderstorm. Oh, one of my trading platforms that I use is actually delisting UST as well. KuCoin is promoting like crazy the USDD still. They're really going heavy on that. We talked about it before, right? How I think they're crazy with promoting this and how Justin Sun is completely out of his mind to just promote the living hell out of USDD. I'm like, why would you do that? At a time when people are so skeptical of algorithmic stablecoins. But the guy is going on a path, I guess, huh? 60% return the guy is giving on USDD, another algorithmic stablecoin. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why this guy is on such a heavy road. It makes no sense. Hey, somebody just DM me saying, "Hey, I'm the 100 like on your live stream right now." That's appreciated, my friend. I appreciate you. Why didn't you not have a name on Twitter, my friend? Did you just make a name for one tweet? Thank you for the like. Then again, I think we'll all agree that Do Kwon is a little bit of a shady guy. Again, I cannot say or allege he's actually been doing some stuff officially, that's not illegal. That's illegal. I can say that I'm a little bit confused as to some of the choices he's made thus far. I can also say I don't agree with the majority of his choices and is not the community first approach. I cannot say that CZ from Binance is a lot better, even though he looks a lot better right now. It might all be front end, maybe he's in on the whole joke. I can't say. I don't want to speculate and say he is because at the end, as I said just now, we don't know. But as long as the stock market is dumping, like Crypto Seed says, if the stock market dumped, Bitcoin would dump until people recognize that it shouldn't. We'll talk about that a different day. I think we're going to end the stream for right now, guys. We talked about a lot in here. Dirty says, I'm sweating balls and I'm here in the UK. I think there's a little bit of a heat wave or something like that, right? I think it was actually supposed to be even hotter, but the weather kind of calmed down again. But it's funny how a big rainstorm can come, even though it's this hot over in Europe. It's not something you see too often. You don't become a billionaire by being a good guy. I disagree with that. I definitely disagree. You can definitely become a billionaire by being a good guy, depending on how you do and what your morals are. I'd rather not be a billionaire than be the bad guy, so to speak. But yeah. Bristol says you just joined Patreon. I've kind of ignored Patreon for a little bit. I gotta have to revive that. But I've been working on so many new initiatives and so many new things for you guys. You don't even know how hard I've been working on making cool stuff. But yeah, I'll revive the Patreon a little bit. I gotta do a couple of calls with you guys. I'll set that up soon, though. I'll set that up. I got that going. Don't worry about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I don't get notifications for Patreon anymore, though. Maybe that's why I've been kind of forgetting about it. I'll see it. I'll check it out. And we'll see what happens. All right. But yeah, guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. And I will definitely see you guys again in another crypto video later today. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed the stream. And I'll see you later today. I got some videos on XRP coming up if you guys are enjoying that stuff. And maybe we'll do another stream at the late night or something like that. But we shall see, all right? Thank you guys all for stopping by. Make sure you press the like button.